Yeah, nod your head to that, kid.
Hi, God.
Hey, God. It's
Missed you.
God. Welcome to the interactive and unique talk show where anything is up for discussion. You got me, Jeff, alongside as always. And back from the dead, the lovely Shannon. What's up, kid?
Wow. Rub it in.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
You all right?
I'm fine.
You've had a really busy week, and including a little TV appearance on local WBIN here.
Yeah, I'm yet to catch that, actually.
Tell everybody about it.
So the Chef's Plate, that's what it was called.
Okay.
Came and interviewed us and over at Pancakes.
Very cool.
And it was a lovely afternoon. They did some really good filming, and I did see the download of it. I just haven't seen it on television, but it's on WBIN.
Awesome.
Let's see. What do we have? Verizon Files, or is that Xfinity?
We have
Xfinity.
Verizon Files.
Files.
Yes.
Sorry, Comcast.
That's all right.
And it's channel 506. I believe it's airing tomorrow and Wednesday. I mean, tomorrow and Thursday, or Thursday and Friday.
That's a pretty good piece. They did several minutes with you, right?
Several minutes. They talked about everything, really. You know, how did the shot begin? When did you begin? What do you got?
What do you got?
Talked about some of the biggest sellers, including the cheeseburger soup.
Ah, yes.
Which
The
just
infamous.
kind of fell in our laps.
Which is now the
who knew?
infamous cheeseburger soup.
Who knew?
And that all started at a wedding. At our good friend's wedding.
Yeah, in Michigan.
Yeah.
It all started at a wedding.
Believe it or
and
not.
God knows, we went to a tavern and they had cheeseburger soup.
Yeah.
And I said, "Can I have your recipe?" They said, "Hell no." Okay, I'll just go home and find my own. So
Did your own.
no problem.
You
It's
tried to. In defense of you, you did try several times.
Well, I mean, really. I mean, come on. I'm from the outside of the Boston area here. You know, I'm not going to compete with you. You know who else did that to me, Jeff? Was
Who's
when we
that?
went to Saratoga, California. That guy never sent me the
What?
cinnamon bun recipe.
Told
me he
right.
would.
Oh, yeah, the guy from the
Never.
diner.
It never showed up. He's like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, send me an email and I'll just reply back to it." So
Oh, sure, yeah.
email didn't bounce back as undeliverable. So I
Yankee
know he got
crank.
it.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Well, speaking of Saratoga, I did pick the brain of a little Italian lady and get a kick-ass recipe for some limoncello. So we'll be having some of that soon.
Soon,
No.
October.
October. Well, that's the key.
Let's not rush summer,
She
please,
said if
okay?
the 6 months, it's no good. You got to leave it the entire year. It's no good if you just take it early. That's the whole key to the whole thing.
I know. I get it.
All right.
You know, limoncello, good. I hate limoncello, so it's all you, and we have quite a bit of it. I don't like lemon stuff. I think it tastes like furniture polish.
Do you really?
I've never liked anything lemon. I do like lemon meringue pie.
Well, yeah. I mean,
That's
I'm the
about
one
it.
that never liked anything lemon, and you got me eating lemon meringue
No.
pie.
I don't like much lemon. That's why I wasn't drinking the limoncello, and you were.
You got me eating pineapples. You got me eating all kinds of crazy shit.
Well, nobody's putting a gun to your head. You're
No,
eating this
I'm
stuff
actually
because you like
enjoying
it.
I'm doing it of my
This
own
one
free
here
will.
will never eat a piece of Hawaiian
it.
pizza in his entire life
Love it.
until, I don't know, he must have been so hungry because we had no food left in the house.
I
don't
actually
know
loved
what
it.
drove you to try the pizza, but now we actually move forward to ordering the
yeah,
Hawaiian pizza
sure,
in this house,
sure.
which in 13 years of knowing this man, I've never been able to do. And he always wants my, like, now you might even eat the pineapples out of the scorpion bowls. Is that a bold move? Or?
Yeah, well, it could be. I usually I opt for the cherries and I forego the pineapple to my love.
I just can't believe you're eating Hawaiian pizza. It's a good move. You know, I'm very proud of you.
All right. Anything, I like the Hawaiian pizza with bacon, too. That you got to step it up a little bit with the bacon. Sometimes we get it without,
With
sometimes
bacon.
we get it with. But you put bacon on a Hawaiian pizza, step it up to that. Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just glad you're trying new things.
We are trying new
Nathan in the
things.
chat's all grossed out because pineapple on pizza. Have you ever tried it, Nathan?
Oh, Nathan, I
you
said
just
the
have
same
to
thing.
try it.
I'm from the same cloth, my friend. I said the same thing. I could not stand pineapple near my zip code, never mind on my pizza. And I will tell you, my friend, that it has changed my life. It's got to be cooked. That's what it is. If it's just
Yeah, it's
like,
soft.
it doesn't taste all pineapple. It just adds a little
No,
sweetness
just
to the pizza. It's
tastes
pretty
like
cool.
Tofu. I mean, what does pineapple taste like if it doesn't taste pineapple-y?
It tastes like just a little extra sweetness to the sauce. It kind of balances it off. You don't get the strong pineapple taste, but you just get a little bit of sweetness. It kind of offsets the sauce. a
It
little
does
bit.
offset the sauce. I'll give you that because I'm not a big red sauce lover unless I make it. The combination of the ham, it kind of makes it makes for a light pizza and it just tastes guilt-free. I don't know, something about it.
Okay.
You know,
All right.
I mean, ham is good for you, and so is pineapple, right?
That's true.
And
Oh,
cheese.
that's good. That's pizza's good. Pizza good. Yes.
It's all good. So, what
Last
else
week
is
we
new?
had Stuttering John.
That was
on.
a great interview.
Great interview.
From,
He divulged a lot of information about his personal life. He talked about his daughter. He talked about time on the Howard Stern show as well as with Jay Leno on the Tonight Show. And, of course, we tossed around a little baseball, a little Yankees-Red Sox rivalry. We had to throw that in there. He's a diehard Yankees fan, of course. And he said something that was, I couldn't, even as a Boston Red Sox fan, not, to say it wasn't true. He said, we get all excited, we get our 4 championships and we reverse the curse. The Yankees, Shannon, have 30 World Series. And he's like, yeah, well, you guys are still peasants, so it's tough, when they get 30, they're hanging 30 up and we got 4, what can you say? You can't really go too loud. But I told him the Patriots have something to do with it too, though. That's why we're all walking around with our chest out a little bit, because we got a good football team, we got a good baseball team, and and maybe even a basketball team that's going into the playoffs right now could do a little damage. You never know. The scrappy Celtics, they're in for the first time under new coach Brad Stevens. And I know you could care less about this, Shannon, but it's kind of like the Cinderella underdog thing.
I'm going to nod and do this and pretend that we're participating in the same conversation.
Meanwhile, in the chat room, what are you buying?
Shopping on eBay right
What are you
now.
buying? What are you buying?
I don't want to talk about it.
It's a personal matter. Oh, wait, God forbid we talk about anything on the show that has to do with Shancakes over here, right?
Well, 2 weeks ago, I was looking for a lawn sign during the show.
Were you successful in finding the lawn sign?
I found it. I just need the money to pay for it.
All right. Well,
but yeah, I do function, though. I'm a functioning...
you're functioning...
Para-rockaholic.
Yeah. You're a functioning media whore. That's what you are. Speaking of paying the bills and saying hi to those who support us, we want to definitely thank our sponsors who support us on the show. And speaking of which, Levinston Storage Solutions is doing a little construction project right next to Shancakes, next to you over there. And the reason they're doing this, folks, is because now they're going to open up to store your car, your motorcycle, your boats and stuff like that in the winter. And
dead bodies.
In the old Tucker warehouse building there with the wood floor sheen, and you couldn't really put any heavy stuff in there. So now they're going to be able to open that business up and store stuff over the winter. So to find out more about them, you can call them at 466-8887 or visit them online at LevinstonStorageSolutions.com. And one of our now favorite places, Shannon, for Italian, short of going to Boston, of course, is Mariano's in Pepperell. We want to say hi to Pam and all the crew out there and thank them for helping us out here.
Phenomenal.
And absolutely. And to find out more about them, you can visit them at mariositalian.com or call them today at 433-6633. And, of course, our friends out there in Oregon making the best coffee on the planet. I have it every single morning. We want to say hi to Gunnar and the crew out there and thank them for their support and find out more. You can visit them at squatchcoffee.com.
Squatch.
And speaking of pizza, Shannon, of course, where we get that fine Hawaiian pizza is at Village up there in North Leominster. Absolutely true.
Absolutely.
And we want to thank them for being a great sponsor of the show. They feed us well and take great care of us. And to find out more about them, you can call them today at 978-343-7722. And, of course, our largest, most grandiose, and most incredible sponsor on the entire planet, bar none, is right there on Central Street, home of the confectionery crack that is called Shancakes. To find out more about Shancakes, you can ask her right there, or you can simply call 840-4343 or find out more at Shancakes.com. Absolutely. And, of course, we would like to say hello and thank you to everybody at LATV for helping us out there. Carl and Tina, Jack, Jane, and Robert do a fine job out there.
Such a family.
We appreciate the support. It is a family there. It really is. It feels great to be part of the crew and glad to be doing what we're doing over there.
I'm jealous.
You are. Well, you're part of the crew. Indirectly.
Somebody at work hates
Indirectly.
me.
Your work?
It's nice
really?
to yeah.
Why is that?
Oh, I don't know.
Are you one of those bosses that are just like impossible to work for? Is that what it is?
No.
Are you demanding in any way, shape, or form?
Here's B. She just popped in the chat.
Speaking of which, all right. So we're going to throw this out there. Okay, now that we have the employees in the chat room who are now listening, we want to find out what kind of boss Shannon is. So we can type it in the chat room. You can, if you want to. This is the time where, if you want to, you can change your name. You can be an alias. Nobody will ever know what you're doing. If B disappears and Schmooky Lips pops up and starts talking about Shannon, we're not going to have a clue who it is. But what kind of boss are you, Shannon? Are you demanding in any way?
I have to be.
Easy to work with? Or
I'm good as a boss. It's not demanding.
All right.
then you can't make their pay every week if you're not demanding.
Do you set a good example for your employees?
Well, what do you mean set a good example?
Well,
are they going to go and be better people in the world because of me? No.
We're not talking therapy or anything like that. We're talking like if you ask them to do something, are you doing it yourself?
Oh, no, I'm just sitting there picking the crap out of my fingernails, just pointing my finger. No, I'm doing everything that they do. Like, that's what I tell everybody, too. Like, everybody does the same thing. We all have the same responsibilities.
All right. Okay.
And, I'll go in and clean the grease trap. I'll help.
Oh,
but I do pay copious amounts of money to someone who will just do it all by himself.
For the record, yours truly used to have that job,
and that was a tough job.
That was a job where you would lose weight every time you would do said grease trap. That was the nastiest job on the planet.
Oh, it sucks. Oh my God,
absolutely terrible.
I don't know what other people's grease traps smell like when you clean them out. I mean, I can imagine that a restaurant grease trap is probably 20 times worse because, I honestly think that. I think that like hamburger grease and animal fat grease pooling, and then once you lift the lid off of it, that might not be so appetizing as frosting grease.
For those of you who just had dinner, we apologize.
Pretty damn bad. So,
Shannon, I've smelled fertilizer factories, which are probably the worst smelling thing on the entire planet.
It's the same thing.
It doesn't come close to your grease trap, which is the most horrendous thing on the planet. It really is.
It's gross. But Jen did it last time. It probably took her about 45 minutes, but I paid her good money.
Of death.
It was worth
45
it.
minutes of hell.
I told her. I called her. I spent about 20 minutes on the phone and said, it's one of the most disgusting jobs you're ever going to do. I did not sugarcoat it one bit. I said, I'm warning you. It's not easy. Da-da-da-da. She's like, okay. And so when she was doing it, gagging and puking, I'm like, yeah, I told you it was going to suck. I didn't lie to you. She starts laughing.
Wow.
This got to be done.
It's better than taking a diet pill. Just go there, lose a few pounds, get the job done.
I know. I think taking diet pills is a lot easier, but
probably
it's just me. But I think we all have fun at work. I have fun with my girls, and I hope they're having as much fun with me.
All right. Well, that's good. That's good. It is summertime almost, and spring is here in the area. We're looking forward to it. And with that, Shannon, folks are out. They're in the yards, they're in their gardens, they're barbecuing, cooking up hot dogs, hamburgers, all that good stuff. And unfortunately, they're also trying to maybe cut down trees. And we've got a very sad and unfortunate story that comes from my hometown in Princeton. And a long-standing Boy Scouts leader died this past Monday, a week ago Monday, after being injured in a tree-cutting accident on Sunday.
Wow.
Keith Strafford, 65 years old, of 189 Beeman Road, was hit by a tree while he and his friends were clearing a wooded area to improve the view. Fire Chief John Bennett, who happens to be my friend I went to high school, reported. The accident occurred on Gregory Hill Road, Route 62, which is right down the street from my folks' house, on a property owned by an acquaintance of Mr. Strafford. He was employed 38 years at the Norton Company, worked as a machinist, and he had just retired, Shannon, in 2012. So the moral of the story here, ladies and gentlemen, is although we may like to get out there and do the gardening and all that, it's okay to trim the bushes, do the light stuff, but you know what? The tree stuff, leave it to the professionals. This isn't a plug for anybody, and although he did bring it to my attention, he did not want his name mentioned, but I do have friends in that business, and I will tell you that is a very, very dangerous and specialized business. Leave it to the
pros, guys.
Absolutely leave it to the pros. It's well worth the money to spend to have them come in, especially if you're cutting near any houses. You know, these guys can drop these things like darts, and they're not going to hit your fence. They're not going to hit your house. And most importantly, you'll live to make it another day. So make sure that you're calling the professionals when it comes to cutting trees down. And a very, very sad story there coming from Princeton. So we want to make sure we're delivering that public service message and making sure you guys out there are being careful. And also this past Monday, Shannon, there was the 119th Boston Marathon. 2 years after the Boston bombing, the rain couldn't even dampen the spirits of the thousands that ran and the tens of thousands and even more that gathered along to root the runners on. And pretty cool after 2 years. That marathon has always been a very proud event for the city of Boston. And you got to agree that folks did a good job. There was no chaos. It was very controlled. No problems whatsoever.
Good. Yeah, I mean, there's always a winner, no matter what, honestly. So even if it was a blizzard, somebody's going to come blaring right through that winning line.
What the hell are you shopping for? Because you're not even having the same conversation.
I'm not shopping.
All right. And what I was talking about was
the rain.
Well, no, we were talking about how the city was well taken care of. There was no chaos.
I know, but I'm still talking about like the rain.
Right.
What do you?
There was a guy that actually ran barefoot and finished in like 5 hours and 14 minutes.
How can that be good for you? How can that be good?
He trained barefoot. He ran barefoot, and back in the day, true story. A lot of the Kenyans and Africans that came to run here had to get used to wearing sneakers. Honest, hand to God, true story, because a lot of them lived in such poverty-stricken countries that they ran barefoot. Now, granted, they didn't run on the pavement.
We don't have to do that anymore.
It was a whole new world for them. Big time.
We don't have to do that anymore.
There were so many, Shannon, like inspirational stories that came out of the marathon. There was a person that ran that was a spectator, lost her legs, and ran the marathon this year. Just incredible. Had never run a marathon before.
It's unbelievable.
It really was. There was also a veteran who was blown up overseas that came home and ran the marathon. Had never run a marathon before. So, man, our hearts are out to everybody that participated in the Boston Marathon. It is an event that makes the city and everyone involved in Massachusetts very, very proud. And very cool. 119th running of the Boston Marathon. And conversely speaking, at the same almost exact moment, the trial of the Boston bomber wrapped up. And he was, of course, found guilty on all 30 counts by a jury. And now that same jury decides his fate, whether he is going to live or die by the death penalty, which is common in the state. I shouldn't say common, but available in the state of Massachusetts. And we have a lot to talk about when it comes to that question, Shannon, because people are on all different sides of that issue. We made that question the public opinion question for this week, and we wanted to make sure that we got everybody's opinion, including yours. I always refer to him as soon-to-be dead terrorist, Yosar Sanayev, or whoever the hell he is, or whatever.
Oh, we're going to kill him.
I hope so. I really, truly hope so. I want the taxpayers to save money. The only reason that I wouldn't opt for anything different than the death penalty is that they can't put him out into the streets of Boston and just turn him loose, which would be my first choice. How do you feel about the death penalty? Do you feel it's barbaric? Do you feel we're stooping to the same lows as the people we're accusing and convicting?
No, it's a case-by-case basis. But for this kid, he wants to die a martyr. So by putting him to death, he's getting exactly what he wanted. I don't think, I think that he would suffer more in jail with no chance of bail for the rest of his life. I do.
At the expense of taxpayers, big time.
I know, but
you realize
what's one more person, Jeff, really? I mean, what's one more? Because there's always a bunch of schmucks in there for life that we've never heard of.
Well, it was pretty interesting. I put it up there on Facebook, and a lot of people say, absolutely yes. Instant death, please. He didn't care. Why should we? Not until the truth about the whole thing is known. He was just a pawn used by others. That's a very interesting, speculation, because a lot of people believe that he was part of a bigger ring and a bigger organization. And, the training facilities they talk about even extending back to Russia and the Ukraine. So, it's a shit show and it's a mess. And I don't think we'll ever know the entire extent of it. But, there were a lot of comments here. People saying he deserves torture over death, much like you.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't read this one. Too many F-bombs in this one, but we'll skip over that one. Put a ticking pressure cooker near his cell so he can see it, hear it, but not touch it. Okay. All right. They also had a lot of them where, he should die by the same hand. In other words, they should blow him up, put him out in the middle of a field with a bunch of shrapnel in a bag, and blow him up big time. There's also, believe it or not, conspiracy theories. They have 3 photographs of Sanayev's backpack, and there are 3 different backpacks. I wish I had this picture to show up there, but I don't know what the source is. But they show 3 different backpacks and things not matching up there. So that makes it makes it pretty interesting. Let God be the judge to punish him. Have mercy on all of you that are judging when punishments. He should be serving jail time. Yes, I understand he did wrong by inflicting harm on the innocent, but let God place judgment and punishment on this guy. Your judgment day will someday come, and I'm sure that you all don't want anyone else other than God to be your judge and punisher. It's a very, very interesting concept. I mean, a lot of people are religious out there. A lot of people believe wholeheartedly that regardless of who this guy is, how bad a terrorist he was, how ruthless he was, how he killed innocent people, innocent children, took their lives, who never had a chance to say goodbye, who suffered incredibly. These people out there still believe that the death penalty is not the answer, that it is barbaric, that it is stooping to the same level as the accused and convicted. And there are people out there that go as far as saying under no circumstances should the death penalty be instituted anywhere. Where are you on the side of the issue? Do you really think he should rot in jail for the rest of his life? Because that's what he wants?
Oh, he'll get stuff put in him and...
What if it wasn't up to him? I mean, you talk about like what the family wants, what he wants.
Oh, they think.
What do we want as justice? Do you bend on that at all? I mean, do you think in any
Why
case,
take one life for a life that's already been taken? I mean, what is that really justice by killing somebody who killed, by stooping down to that level? There are instances where I do feel that the death penalty is warranted. Serial killers and people that just aren't going to be rehabbed. But this kid wants to die. He wants to. He's begging for it. If he dies, he's a hero in a couple different countries, including where Borat came from. So why give him what he wants? And you know what? There are a lot of the victims' families coming forward saying they don't want him to die.
Okay.
That they, too, feel that he... it would benefit more just letting him think about what he's done for the rest of his life. Let him hang himself or something, but I don't, that's just my opinion. It doesn't matter what I think.
Well,
the senator is not going to be like, I saw Shannon's show and she really got to me. No, nobody cares what I think. But honestly, I mean, why, we're just going to give him what he wants.
Well, it is a good point because they're all martyrs, every one of them.
Well, that's the whole point. They
want
to die. Why do you think they blow themselves up with these jackets and stuff? They think that that's what God wants you to do.
That's actually the scary part about this, and we were talking about this the other day. We went over there with money, and we fought a different kind of war over there. We bought intelligence. We paid people to tell us where the bad guys were. They quickly figured out that they have all the money over there. And now they know how to use that money to buy things what they need over here. I mean, this whole jihad with ISIS and everybody, it's just crazy. They're using social media, they're using money, they're recruiting people in our own country. Possibly neighbors that you would know for years are living under false pretense. We hear it every day. Absolutely hear it every day. So it's a scary state of affairs when they have all the money and now they know how to use it. So we talked about that a lot, and it's something that's really, really changing. The way we should deal with everyday criminals. Should we send a message? Should we absolutely send a message and I'm all for public hangings and public stonings. I'm all for taking this kid out into the middle of town, have his whole family come, parade them right up in front, and just publicly stone him and ruin his family's name. Have his mother there, that crazy bitch that still thinks he's innocent and that we've tortured her little boy. I don't care. I'd turn him loose in the streets of Boston, and somebody should have John Wilkes Booth this guy a long time ago. That's what I say.
John Wilkes Booth, the guy. I keep hearing that.
Well, I don't know. For me, it's a waste of taxpayers' money. You think about what it costs, and that's where I go back to.
Of course, it sucks.
I'm sorry. This whole trial should have never have taken place. I know we live in a free country where we have to have justice and everybody has to have a fair trial and blah, blah, blah. These are terrorists. These aren't Americans. These are people that have infiltrated our country and have waged war on us and are terrorists and threaten democracy and our way of life. I don't think they should be given the same rights as Americans. I don't think they deserve a free trial. I think they deserve to go directly to the box, directly to death, and that's it. That's all.
All right.
All right? That's the way I feel. You guys in the chat room, you can always call into us and tell us how you feel. The number here is 323-902-6661. And Shannon, somebody that does take advantage of that most every week is our buddy JT.
Yay!
Find out what JT thinks.
Hello, Jeff and Shannon. JT from L.A. That's right, Shannon, the Lumister area.
Yep.
I love this time of the year. It's springtime in New England. It's so nice to look out my window and not see a snow pile higher than the window. I saw, every year my daughter gives me a subscription to Netflix, and I saw a wicked good movie last night. It was with Denzel Washington.
Yep.
It was called The Equalizer.
Yep.
It was shot right here in Boston. Jeff and Shannon, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but boy, you got to see this movie. Talk about action-packed. I must have smoked a half a pack of cigarettes just watching it.
Poor JT.
Well, Jeff and Shannon, bye-bye.
All right, we got to get JT off the cigarettes and back on the
Yeah,
cannolis.
that broke my heart.
Right? Back on the cannolis. We got to, feed him a half a dozen cannolis during the broadcast, but lay off the cigarettes. The cigarettes are going to
Seriously,
kill
dude.
you, even if the cannolis kill you.
Really?
It's got to taste better than the cigarettes, JT. Really. We always appreciate JT calling in, and he's a regular on our show. He's a regular on the mayor's show.
Yep.
He's a
He's a
regular
character.
regular local celebrity
Physically
here in town.
and digitally.
When he makes an appearance, people gravitate to him. They all kind of came up. They all
Yep.
know who he is. He's got a following of his own that even rivals yours, Shannon Sylvia. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what LATV is.
All right, guys, stick around. Coming up, we have Shannon Sylvia with the Who Does That and much more.
Yay.
We'll be right back.
Up for discussion with Jeff and Shannon Sylvia. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Up for Discussion Live is brought to you in part by Lemonster Storage Solutions, Mariano's Restaurante, Sasquatch Coffee, and Village Pizza.
Let's make a soul connection. Soul to soul connection. Heart to heart. Make us start with the soul.
And now back to Up for Discussion right here on Pararock TV.
Oh, yeah, when you hear that music, it can only mean one thing. It's that segment of the program when Shannon Sylvia asks, who does that? And now, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Shannon Sylvia.
All right, guys. So, live in the flesh, no longer under the weather. Right, Jeff?
Yes, indeedy.
I'm above it. I'm above the weather this week. Even though
Poor
it
thing.
sucks out. Here are your stories that you've been eagerly awaiting for tonight. One hails out of Nova Scotia. Jeff?
And that's in Canada.
It's Canadian.
That's Canadian. You better believe it.
Yeah. This is an unbelievable story. Nova Scotia woman with a prosthetic leg was flattered by a note saying she should be ashamed for using handicap accessible parking when she is not handicapped.
Oh, boy.
Natasha Hope Simpson of Halifax said she usually parks in the accessible space across the street from her work, but she returned to her car one day this week to discover the anonymous note left on her vehicle. I have a video of you walking away from your car on numerous occasions. You are not handicapped, the note says. The next time you park here, I will forward the video to police with your license plate number. You should be ashamed of yourself. Hope Simpson, who lost her leg below the knee in a hit-and-run accident November 2013, says she takes the note as a compliment. She has a 3D printed prosthetic leg, which she received in March of last year. I'm kind of flattered about that because I've been working pretty hard on my walk to make it look natural, she told CBC News. Tova Sherman, an advocate for people with disabilities, was less amused by the note. It's really none of our business whether they run out of the car or crawl out of the car. Great example is people who live with fibromyalgia, which is chronic pain.
Okay.
It is episodic, meaning it comes and goes, she said. A fibromyalgia patient can feel fine one day, and the next day they can't even lift their arms.
Who does that?
So who's the douchebag that left the note on the car? Oh, my God.
All right. Obscure story, Shannon. You know how I was going to go here. Way back when I first met you, you told me a story about a friend of yours that you had saw at the club. And but why don't you share that story?
Oh, my God.
With the listeners, honey.
So...
Wasn't his name Greg?
It's Glenn.
Oh, it's Glenn. Okay.
I
Coincidence? Starts with a G?
I had read in the paper eons ago, it was on the front page about a logger that had a tree fall on his leg, and he lost his leg. And it was in Ashburnham, Mass., which is zillions of meters away.
Okay.
And I just, I never knew Glenn's last name. I had no idea. I used to just see Glenn out in the bars and be like, hey, Glenn. He's like 8 feet tall. You can't miss the guy. So Thanksgiving Eve, Jeff, before I knew you, when I used to go out to the bars by myself, I'm standing there, and Glenn comes walking in with a limp. And so what do I do is the first thing I have to do is just kick his leg. I'm like, hey, why are you limping? Well, Glenn was the Glenn in the newspaper that I read. And he goes, I lost my leg. And I must have turned 50 shades of red. I didn't even know what to say. I mean, to talk
Who does
about
that?
sticking my foot in my mouth. And he just laughed. He's a jovial guy. And he just laughed, said, it's okay. You didn't know. I'm like, I really didn't know. I totally messed up a second time that night. And we won't even talk about that because that's just a horrible coincidence. But... So now you say that I was kicking the prosthetic leg of life. I gotta sometimes remember to put on that filter before talking.
Now, you were not the one that left the note. We just want to clarify this.
No.
Even though you've kicked the prosthetic leg before.
I would not have done that. No,
of an innocent man, you've kicked their prosthetic leg. We just want to clarify that you weren't the one that left the note. Although, contrary to most reports. All right, I'll stop giving you shit.
No, that's just a horrible thing to do. I mean, the lady's really handicapped. I just hope for real that like this person sees her again and like figures it out.
Yeah, really.
How's that on your conscience, a-hole?
Ouch.
All right, so this other story, not too far, it comes from Olympia, Washington.
That's not in Canada.
No, it's not, but isn't Washington out by Nova Scotia?
It is. Well, no, Nova Scotia's on the east coast of Canada. Washington will be on the west coast of the United States, yes. Yes, Nova Scotia.
No
right up north there, hey.
All right, well, you're going to take me there someday so I can reacquaint it to where it is in my head.
We'll have to ride that that tram thing that goes over the water.
I want to see Nova Scotia.
It's like a high-speed casino thing on the water. That takes
you had
to
me
Nova
at
Scotia.
casino.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anywho, so I messed up about where Nova Scotia is.
That's all right.
Maybe his next target was Scrooge McDuck's vault, but police in Washington say that they busted an alleged robber with an unwise prop, which is a canvas bag with a $ painted on it.
Because he was going to use it for something else.
Stupid idiot. The police department said officers responded April 8th to a report of a robbery at a Subway restaurant on the west side of the city. Employees told investigators the suspect indicated he had a weapon in his pocket
Subway.
and left with money from the cash register as well as a worker's cell phone. Yeah, they won't be able to track that.
No,
workers told police the man who wore a red bandana around his face told him not to do anything funny. The man whose employees said fled with a shopping cart was located near the grocery outlet. He was pushing a shopping cart loaded with consumer goods and was carrying $100 of cash and a cell phone matching the description of the Subway worker. The man also had a white canvas bag printed with the cliche $, and it was tied to his pants.
Oh, my.
David Lingafelter, 22 years old, young, was arrested on charges of robbery and obstructing. Idiot.
Who does that?
Why?
Well, we do have We do have a little bit of audio. There was apparently in the same subway, there was a gunman who was very pissed off, and I think we have some audio from that.
You're calling 911 because you don't like the way that they're making your sandwich?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think they were having multiple problems at that subway. They weren't making sandwiches right. They were calling 911, and at the same time, they were getting robbed. Jesus, it's crazy.
911. I gotta find more 911 stupid calls. I miss those. I usually involving food at McDonald's or someplace. It's
Oh
just
yeah, we
ridiculous.
have them all.
Can please 911 with the address of the emergency?
Yes, ma'am. I'm at the Village Inn.
Village in where?
It's located off of 30th.
Okay, the one near Fowler?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's going on there?
This I guess he worked here or whatever. They gave me some raw waffles.
Raw
and I
waffle.
told him I don't want the waffles.
They
and he
want
take it
the
off
waffle.
my bill. He
Waffle.
said, oh, I can't take nothing off your bill, man. But you sold me something that was uncooked. I'm already
Waffle.
paying for the whole waffle that was already uncooked. You want me to pay for the half a waffle too that ain't uncooked? No, he's talking, oh, well, I call the police. You've been drinking alcohol. Well, come on,
Police.
bring me a
Police.
breathalyzer and everything.
I love it when they call the police,
Okay.
I told him I would call the police for him.
as
Come
opposed to
on.
the rich police. They're calling the
Come
police.
eat.
Oh,
I'll have what
Come
he-
on, man.
I'll have what she's
Go ahead
having.
and send an officer out to help you all sort this out, okay? But just so you know, it's going to be a civil matter between you and the business, but we can definitely come out there
It's a
to do something with
To-
the raw waffle.
it's a matter between.
It's like the airplane guy.
That must,
The-
I think is the. I think that's the same lady that bitched about the too moist cake.
waffle. Raw waffle.
I give up. You know, not for nothing, but I was the guy that licked the beaters and practically drank whatever was left of the brownie mix and the cake mix, and I scraped the
Did
bottom of the
you
bowls.
eat raw waffles?
I'd eat raw anything. It ain't gonna kill you.
Nobody ate
It
raw
just
waffles.
ain't gonna
That's
kill
gross. No,
I've
pancake
licked
batter
the
just
beaters.
wasn't one of those things that anyone would
It's not
like.
the best tasting.
It's not.
no.
It's you wouldn't lick pancake
But you're not gonna
beaters.
die from a raw waffle.
Well,
No,
apparently
really.
this lady thought she was dying from a raw waffle.
No, had nothing to do with her blood alcohol content. I'm sure.
I'm surprised she didn't stutter or, over her words there. She was doing pretty good. She was pretty fired up over that raw waffle. All right, we have one more. This one comes from Australia. Australian authorities said a man was hospitalized after he drunkenly ate a glass beer bottle during a family gathering.
Okay.
Lovely things to do when you're
So
with your
lovely.
family. That's
Lovely,
so
lovely.
nice. We should try that.
Somebody pass me the beer
Great
bottle.
conversation piece, mouthful of blood. Northern Territory Police Superintendent Louise Jorgensen said the police received an emergency call just after 9 p.m. Wednesday about a man at a family gathering who chewed and swallowed a glass beer bottle and then
Ouch.
went for a lie down.
Oh,
Holy PCP. His family then called police and St. John ambulance as well, and he was taken to Royal Darwin Hospital. The call was one of 500 made to police between 3 p.m. and 11 p.m. Wednesday.
Okay.
She said that the drunken hijinks, such as the bottle-eating man, are a drain on police resources.
This happens often. We got a big problem over here. Everybody's getting drunk and they keep eating the bottles. They don't know what they're doing.
Apparently, we need an outback out there to occupy their time.
That rule's just right.
People are dismayed when we can't respond to their jobs immediately, but this is why, because all these other jobs that are coming in. Well, I would consider that an emergency. Wouldn't you consider that a true emergency?
Oh,
That you might actually have to dispatch an ambulance to a guy that
Oh,
chowed down a glass bottle.
We're having bottles in the Barbie, everyone.
This bitch is whining. We got 500 calls on Wednesday evening and about 450 on Tuesday.
Really?
Most of them are domestics or antisocial and drunk behavior. Why is she trying to discount, that is a true emergency coming in from a family. I'm sorry, but I can't even imagine why they might just brush that off.
Who does
The guy
that?
needs an ambulance.
Well, yeah, he's probably going to need a little medical attention and probably some surgery, I would think, following up.
Well, I
Right?
want to follow up. That's what sucks about this story so much. There's no follow up. I have absolutely no idea.
We should contact the family, right? Make sure he's okay.
They
They probably don't remember any of it. It's like, I drank a bottle, ate a bottle. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Crazy.
They do that often in Australia? That's something that they normally do.
Absolutely crazy.
I don't get it. Which, I mean, back in the day, people would take the beer bottle caps off with their teeth, but to bite into a beer bottle and just start chewing on a beer bottle, I don't know how that appeals.
Well, I mean, I've watched somebody bite a bottle before, but I've never actually watched someone chow one down.
Really?
It's kind of nuts.
What kind of drugs do you have to be on to want to
PCP.
do that?
That makes
Really?
you
think so?
do things you're not even aware of what you're doing.
That's true. That's
I
true.
mean, not that I would know. I've never tried it.
Are you?
I mean,
nothing from experience, right?
no, I
Okay.
wouldn't do PCP. I have teeth.
You have teeth all over. Hang on, let's get it closer. We need closer for our teeth over here. There we go. And nice teeth too. Look at how bright and shiny they are.
I take care of
You
them.
take really good care of your teeth.
My dentist loves me.
Your dentist loves you.
She's like,
That's cool.
yeah. She says I'm easy.
Yeah.
I brush. I have great toothpaste. I do buy the expensive toothpaste.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
don't
the
use those
expensive toothbrushes too. You got me. This is like one of the many things in my life that I have to admit. You've kind of brought me around on, and I used to be like, yeah, a toothbrush is a toothbrush, and it doesn't matter how hard you brush, or as long as you get the hard bristle toothbrush, just press as hard as you possibly
What do I always tell you?
Now you've got me using these rotisserie brushes, these power brushes, and I mean, you spend some pretty good money on them. I'm not going to say exactly what.
Well, they last forever. They're rechargeable.
And I will tell you, what a difference. I mean,
Huge.
it's better on your teeth. It feels better on your gums. Fresh breath. I love it. I can't tell you how much you've changed my life.
Those rotisserie things that you talk about, they spin, but they're smaller than your regular toothbrush head, so they actually fit behind your teeth better.
That's true.
And those other giant archaic toothbrushes, which they still sell, like you can't really get back there.
No.
At all. I mean, mouths weren't made for that. So the little, just little round ones with the spinning heads, guys, those are the best toothbrushes.
Okay. You heard it
And,
here?
yeah, they say that they can clean like 200 times better than a regular toothbrush. So
I believe it.
I'm all for that. I can feel it.
It's going in so many different directions, and it's kind of taking the stuff out. And to me, it feels like being at the dentist.
Yeah.
It's because you can hit every tooth and take your time with it.
Well, you're supposed to go 2 minutes technically still, but yeah. So tooth care is good.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be careful of all that teeth staining tea and coffee, though. However,
especially if you're eating raw waffles, right?
Raw waffles won't stain your teeth. Coffee will.
Yeah, they will. I love coffee. I'm not giving them coffee. I don't care if they stains my teeth or not. It's too bad.
Gross.
Too freaking bad.
Yeah. No.
Not my coffee. Not my problem.
No.
Right?
White teeth are nice.
My teeth are nice. So is coffee, though.
Females find that a nice smile on a man is more attractive than any other body part. Do you know that?
Really?
Yeah, it's like number one.
Okay.
Good teeth.
Good teeth, huh?
Yeah, it's important. Nobody wants bad teeth.
I can woo you with my smile, right? I'm okay. My smile, all right. I got you right.
Mm-hmm.
Could have something going on. I don't have like the Michael Strahan teeth with the big space in the middle.
Oh, you could fit 2 whole teeth in there.
We joke about it all the time. Super talented guy. I love watching him on TV, but man, he's got the whole thing going on.
He doesn't care.
You
And
know,
it does
why would
affect
he?
his
Guy's got 13 kids and $48 million.
It does. It does affect his speech, though.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Clearly, it doesn't affect Madonna's. She's a bazillionaire, and he's not well on his way anyway.
She's got
But
the thing going.
yeah,
too.
he's got quite the lisp going on. But he still does it. People love him. I just don't want to see. He's kind of like the Kardashian though of morning anchors now. I don't want to see him too many more places.
He's like overstaying his welcome.
Well, I mean, he's in movies, stripping, and he's in TV shows, and he was a sports figure, and now he's on several morning shows. Come on, in the sports newscasting, enough. just keep it to a minimum, Michael, please. We have to, absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Okay.
So,
all right.
There's a lot of people like that out there.
Send the hate mail. There you go.
Find the address. Good luck.
All right. We're going to step out. When we come back, we're going to talk about yet another debacle in police brutality. Stick around, guys. You're watching Up for Discussion Live.com.
Ay, 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 ay. I am the Frito Bandito. I like Fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want Fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you.
Hey, how about a nice Hawaiian punch?
Sure. How many
licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
Let's find out. 1, 2, 3. 3.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
Some people have a deep, abiding respect for the natural beauty that was once this country. And some people don't. People start pollution. People can stop it.
Mamma mia, that's some species. Cut. Spicy meatballs, Jack. Sorry.
Take 28.
Out, Tony, and action. Mamma mia, that's a spicy meatball. Cut. What was the matter with that? The accent. Cut. Cut. Micey, micey, ballsy, ballsy. Cut.
Take 59.
And action.
Sometimes you eat more than you should. And when it's spicy besides, Mamma Mia, do you need Alka-Seltzer?
Sooner or later, you're going to try a white owl. And when you do, we gotcha.
I love football, and I love relaxing. Because for me, relaxing always includes Skoal, the smokeless tobacco. Just a pinch between my cheek and gum gives me great tobacco taste without lighting up. Got the sea, the breeze, got my Skoal. Nothing's gonna make me move. Think I'll play some touch. Skoal, brother.
Bert, what do you say to Martini and Rossi?
Yes. Yes. To Martini and Rossi on the rocks. Say yes.
You got?
Not even close.
Who are you?
Your nightmare.
It's not finished!
Damn right it's not.
All right, make sure you guys check out Skull Hunter, a paranormal gun for hire. That's our buddy Mike Lear that's putting that together, Shannon. Very proud of him. He's done a fine job putting that together. And, yeah, more to come on that. Stay tuned. We'll bring you all the information. And this just coming in from Baltimore, where we have friends down there, Shannon. There are 6 Baltimore police officers that are suspended pending an investigation. There was a gentleman down there by the name, I believe, of Fred. Shoot, I can't remember his last name. Fred, what is it? We'll get his last name. He was actually arrested, and by the time he got to jail, he was dead. And this happened in the back of the paddy wagon, let's say, where, you know, he walked in there and he ended up dying of spinal cord injuries. I talked to a local person down there who didn't want to be mentioned, and it seemed to most that are investigating at this time, the word that's coming out is that this was kind of a tuning up gone wrong, so to speak.
Freddie Gray.
Freddie Gray, thank you. I know it was Fred something. There is just way too much of this going on in the world today. Maybe it's because of social media bringing it to the light, more than ever. People on YouTube that are filming this stuff more than ever. But man, what you're seeing is absolute stupidity. You're seeing cops shooting innocent people in the back that are running away. You're hearing stories like this of 6 cops in the back of a paddy wagon beating a poor person to death, breaking their neck and causing them to die before they even make it to jail. Shannon, I mean, how does this make you feel? I mean, we live in a town where we know a lot of the cops. It's kind of a small town. We've kind of seen them all kind of come into the force and know most people by name. It's a friendly area. But what about these cities where people don't know the police force? In a big city like Boston or Philly or you name it, across the country. How do you feel when you're now approached by a police officer? Do you act any different? Do you maybe have a little bit different approach?
I mean, it depends on the circumstances. I mean, there are some respectful people out there, and there are some disrespectful people out there.
Well, let's just say that you and I are in a strange city, and we're walking down the street, and all of a sudden, people go running by us, and the cops come running, and all of a sudden the cops draw their guns, and they look at you and I, and they say, "Stop, freeze." Maybe
I would stop and freeze.
I mean, maybe mistaking us for people that are involved.
That's happening.
Do you try to explain to them there that you're not involved? What if they start to manhandle us? What if they start to throw us down on the ground and beat us with billy clubs? Do you try to defend yourself? I mean, how do you feel? I mean, I know I'm creating a hypothetical situation here, but these things are now happening. Almost daily we're hearing about this stuff going on. Do you feel different being approached by a police officer that you don't know now in light of everything that's going on? Or do you still feel the same as you did 10 years ago?
I've been approached by some pretty rude police officers in my life. I just don't even know. It's hard to say. I'm just surprised, Jeff, that all this stuff that's going on with police brutality, that it's just getting worse. Yeah. You would think that there's a memo somewhere in each police station saying, look, we're getting a little rough on people. Just back off. It's not good for publicity. Well, what's happening? I can't imagine people are getting any more violent towards police. But then again, they may be getting more violent towards police with all the wake of what happened in Missouri. There may be a video camera present. Is it catching everything? Are we getting both sides of the story? I just don't know.
Well, you bring a very interesting point. When all this started back in Missouri, and even before that, there was a large call out for training, and that was their answer. That was law enforcement's answer to this. Oh, we need to retrain our police force, and we need to rethink our way of doing things, and we need to make our police force more accountable, and all this talk about stuff. And all you see, and the result of that is things like this. I mean, there's very little doubt, even though the investigation is still pending, there's very little doubt that this man was defenseless. And, 6 cops in the back of a paddy wagon, by the time the guy got to jail, he was dead. I mean, this isn't going to go over well, not only in Baltimore, but in the entire country.
It's bizarre. How old of a guy?
He looked like he was in his mid-30s. He did not look like he was a very old guy at all. Do me a favor down there. See that thing right here? I want you to wiggle that. See the green light? Wiggle the green light just a little bit. Don't pull it out or anything. Just wiggle it ever so slightly. Yeah. Go ahead and wiggle that. I think we got a little camera problem here. No. All right.
That fix it?
I don't think so. I think that you're gonna have to kind of carry on the rest of the show yourself. Because,
my honey.
I think my camera's dead. Good. Why don't you say hi to everybody in the chat room and give me like 30 seconds, because we only got a couple minutes left.
I'm so sorry. Well, I want to thank you all for being in the chat. Of course, our tried and true Nathan, Destination Truth out there, Greg O'Brien from the Philadelphia area, who I dub as my stalker, is always good there for us too. B out there in Germany. It's got to be like 4 a.m. out there your time. I think it's a 5 or 6 hour time difference. But hello to B, and thank you for tuning in to watch us. We have many, many more in the chat that I'd like to say hello to, but we just won't have enough time to say hello to you. Jeff is diligently trying to get himself back on camera. Oh, you might as well just walk in front of it. It doesn't matter.
Was it that bad? Did everybody see me?
No, I didn't see you.
Well, that's good.
And
That's
there's a
how-
lot of you that listen without having to be in the chat room. So to you
There we go.
who
I'm
want to
back.
be incognito.
That's how you can tell this is live, because we can like fix stuff on the fly. And,
Wow.
Yeah, you know, never let it be said that I cannot be resourceful. If I could get through last week's show, Shannon, like what happened, I could get through anything. That's for sure.
Good job.
Holy smokes.
It was kind of interesting. You were just a bunch of lines for a minute there.
Yeah, you know, something that happened with the camera. It's happened like once before, and it's kind of a connection thing. So we fixed it real quick.
Very interesting.
And again, that's how you guys know this is live, and it's certainly not anybody's fault at LATV. It's all on us. We're the master of our own destiny here at the mothership that is PTV, and we definitely want to thank all of you guys for joining us not only on PTV but also on LATV. You can check your local listings for times during the week. I think we're on one time in the morning. I want to say Monday mornings. I want to say we're on at like 10 or 11. And then we're on at 10 o'clock at night, like 3 or 4 times during the week. And you can always catch us anywhere, anytime, on your tablets, your handheld mobile devices, your cell phones, your iPhones, your Android, anything. And, of course, your computers. And now that we have this cool thing, we're named Chromecast, Shannon. You can put it all up on the big screen. You can watch YouTube or anything, anytime, anywhere. Yeah, it's awesome. So you can catch us on upfordiscussionlive.com, or, of course, now on the mothership, which is the PTV Webcast Network. Find us on ptvonline.com. And, of course, you can always catch everything that you might miss during the week on our YouTube channel. Simply search us out at PTV Webcast Network. You can catch not only this show, but all the other great shows on the network. We have a great lineup with a bunch of wonderful hosts in all kinds of different subjects across every single genre you can imagine.
Perfect.
Want to find out what's going on? You can keep up with us on Facebook, facebook.com/PTV Webcast Network. And that will take care of us for tonight, Shannon, on behalf of my lovely co-host Shannon and the entire crew here. I want to thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week, guys. Good night.
Good night, guys.